Well, July is UV Safety Awareness Month, and it's celebrated this month to raise awareness about the importance of protecting your skin and eyes from the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays. And joining us now to talk about the topic is Dr. Alozi from Sunset West Health. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And living in the Sun City, we all know about the sunshine, the UV rays. In the summertime, we like to spend time outdoors, but it's also really important for us to know the risk of skin cancer.
Absolutely. So I think one thing people don't realize when you're living in El Paso is that sun can actually be harmful, right? So about 20% of Americans get skin cancer. It is the most common type of cancer. And we forget about this all the time, right? Because we talk about colon cancer and liver cancer and a whole host of cancers. The damage is done by the sun. And you know, for those people that like to go out in the sun and kind of joke about, oh, I got sunburn all the time as a kid, or now that I'm traveling to wherever, just 5 sunburns can double your risk of developing melanoma, and that's the most common type of skin cancer.
So why is it that most skin cancers are caused by UV rays?
Well, if you really think about it, right, so the sun is beautiful, it's great, it warms us up, you get a nice tan, try to look a little lighter than I am or your color, right? But one of the things that people don't realize is that that golden color is essentially, think about putting a turkey or a chicken in the oven. You put it in the oven, 20, 30 minutes, starts to get brown. That's what happens to your skin. And the UVA and the UVB rays from the sun cause DNA damage. And that DNA damage leads to cancer. There's a whole host of other things that happen in terms of dark patches, premature wrinkling, loose skin. Don't look at the sun, right? Don't want to be like certain people that look at the sun. You could go blind. But again, sun's great. You got to know how to protect yourself.
That's right. And sun safety is very important when we're outside, especially for outdoor workers and kids who participate in sports outdoors. So talk about the important ways to protect yourself.
You know, for me, the biggest thing, we'll also talk about that, is use sunscreen. It's SPF 30. We've harped on that a lot. But if you're outside, try to get into those umbrellas or under a shade. I think that's important. I know it sucks, and I know it's hard to wear long sleeves in the sun.
I always have on long sleeves. I
do you
promise.
really?
I do.
Oh, that's impressive then. You're one of the few. But if you wear sunglasses, they don't have to just be cool sunglasses. They actually should have UV protection. And hey, hats are in season. They're in style. Get a wide brim hat. It casts a shadow on your body.
I love hats too. And it's also important to be UV aware. So talk to us about that.
Again, and so one of the things that if you have a phone, and you guys do it, Doppler does it when he talks about the weather, is that there's a UV risk, right? You can see it's 1 to 11. You really want to stay out of the sun if it gets above 6, right? You can see that if even at 6 and 7, you can get sunburned in 30 minutes. If it's UV 11, and we do have that from time to time,
yes, we do.
Under 15 minutes, you can get sunburned. Really important. If you're going to go outside, play, work, check out that UV risk.
Yeah, 11, I'm inside. Well, I think about this all the time. There are so many different brands of sunscreen. So how do we go about choosing one that's healthy for us, for one, and can still protect us from harmful UV rays?
You know, my personal recommendation is the water-based. Some of the chemical-based, which you and I have talked about this, Mark and I have talked about this, they actually have like essentially tin foil in them, and they've actually been linked to causing cancer too. So you want to get that water-based, but the key here is SPF 30. If you have SPF 30, you're protecting your skin, and that's the key. Again, you got to look at the ones that have UVA and UVB protection, because some of them only have one, because they have a scent to them, or they're kind of the cool sunscreens. In this case, cooler is not better.
Okay, so me and my family talk about this all the time.
Yep.
Which one should we use? The spray sunscreen or the, the cream?
So either one is good.
Okay.
The important thing is to get it everywhere in your body and to actually rub it in, right? So I think that's the key. A lot of people will do the cream, or they don't like the cream because it's all white and everything.
Yes.
I think that's actually best for little kids because they don't know, they forget to come out of the sun.
But
the spray is fine.
Getting the kid to come here to put it on.
You got to do it though, right? And then that's why you're the parent, right? You got to get them to you and make sure it happens.
Yes, no, I think you're absolutely right. So talking about the UV rays, the extreme heat, we do have some cooling centers if you do need to cool off.
Yep, and so that's one of the great things about El Paso, right? We've done a great job in providing these. I think one of the things you dropped to the list is that all of the public libraries actually allow that, right? So if you can't get to a cooling center and you can see where all of the addresses are, you can go to a public library. If you ever do identify a lesion on your skin, something that's weird, I think you gotta go see a dermatologist or your primary care physician to get you. You can see a bunch of them that are there. But again, I think the key here is protection, protection, protection. Use SPF 30 at least. And if you see something that's strange, go talk to your physician about it.
It can be the spray or the cream. Just make sure you have on that sunscreen. And we do have a list of all the cooling stations in El Paso and Las Cruces. You can find that information at kvia.com. And remember, if you have a question about your health, just let us know.
Let us know.
Send us an email to Dr. Lozzi, and he'll answer that question. Send us that email. He'll answer it right here live on ABC-7 at 4. Dr. Lozzi, thanks so much for joining us as always.
Thank you. Try not to get too brown.
I know. Stay covered up. Let's get to storm track weather now.